Everybody in the packed house has talked to a lot of you over the last week or two, but it's great to be all back in person, and boy, do we have a day today. So we'll start by a call for approval of minutes.
Motion?
Second.
Y'all forget how to do that? Have a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. All right, Virgil, yep.
So we've got two for y'all tonight. First one is 1500 McFarland Boulevard East. This one here, they have completely remodeled the outside, got it looking good.
Oh,
Completed all the exterior renovations. Interior is gutted and ready for whatever their new tenant is. It's our recommendation to go ahead and just cut this one loose. Y'all can vote no to the resolution, and then we'll allow them to move forward with the interior once they get a new tenant.
They don't have any idea what they're doing?
They don't, right now, I don't think they do.
that's what I was going, John asked, what, they have a tenant or any?
As far as I know, they don't have a tenant for it yet at this time. So, but the interior's, like I said, it's gutted completely
It
out.
does look a lot better when you
Yeah.
ride by there.
Yeah, they did a great job on the exterior. And it's secured. So-
It's gonna be limited in what they can do.
As it, this is great, this is actually my district now, after our changes, but, I still want everyone to know that all these years were not the city's fault. I'll just say that, but at least we're moving forward now and not looking back, right? So you're recommending that we
Vote no.
vote no. Anybody have any questions? Virgil?
You get it in Greater Alberta, and then things start.
Buddy, this is Greater Alberta, oh, yeah.
Things start happening.
Exactly, Walt. It's all about marketing, you know, it's just,
Alberta City.
I said, this is Greater Alberta, so
Alberta City or
Greater
Alberta?
Alberta, so you can't have this kind of stuff over here.
That's right.
The larger Alberta metro area.
Alberta City.
Oh, it's, yeah, you know what? I got a gavel.
Happy New Year.
Alberta. Okay, thank you, Virgil.
All right, so the next one here is 702 and a half 17th Avenue. This is the house that had the rodent
Oh, yeah.
problem.
Oh, yeah.
It was condemned November 20th, 2023. To this date, they have cleaned it out. You're gonna see some pictures toward the end of this, where they've removed everything that was inside, cleaned it, got it down to the bare walls.
Virgil, are we seeing the back, is this the back house we're looking at?
This is the back house, 702 and a half. This is the back house on the property.
Living there. Gee whiz.
Oh, wow.
This is after they've cleaned it out. So you can see the damage to the walls still, missing some rat seals, things of that nature.
They've done a lot of work.
They've cleaned it out. That's all they've done to this point. So
That's not enough.
Structurally, what is it meet compliance structurally?
no, sir.
I couldn't see how.
Okay, so as far as my part on this one here, you've seen what we're going to present tonight. Now, planning and zoning have some issues that they're going to discuss with you as well. So I'm going to allow Zach to come up here on that part.
Okay. Zach?
Yeah, so as you can see, it is in pretty bad shape. So as you mentioned, there are two structures on this property. There's the front house that's in pretty good shape, as we're concerned, and the tenants of this one have moved into that one, from my understanding. But this is considered an accessory structure. It's still on the same property, but it's an accessory structure in the rear of the property that was used as a dwelling. Because of that, the current state has deemed it was a non-conforming structure, but now because of the significant damage, and I'll just read our zoning ordinance pertaining to this, section 24106B, if a non-conforming structure or portion of a structure containing non-conforming use becomes physically unsafe or unlawful due to the lack of repairs and maintenance and is declared by any duly authorized official to be unsafe or unlawful by reason of physical condition, it shall not thereafter be restored, repaired, or rebuilt except in conformity to the regulations of the district in which it is located. So this structure, and I know y'all have seen an aerial before, it's right on those property lines. It's not meeting, so to put it this way, if Miss Little were to come in today and request to build this structure, we wouldn't be able to allow that because of the current zoning regulations. Obviously, it was
Because of
built
the proximity to other,
proximity
property
to the
lines,
property
or
lines.
because it's
The
an
use,
accessory structure.
yeah, well, it's an accessory structure, and so it needs to meet the accessory structure regulations, which it does not with the proximity to adjoining property lines, as well as there's probably, we don't have a survey telling us exactly where it is on the lot and the percentage and everything, but, just looking at the aerials, it's very close to the property lines. It's right next to a fence on the rear side of that structure. There's some other issues that likely come into play with it being non-conforming to the current regulations. All that to say, we cannot issue a permit for this property to be rebuilt because it is not meeting the current regulations as it sits today.
That happened a lot after the tornado, didn't it? Some situations.
I'm sure it did, yeah. Because it's beyond, so, I'll just read this again. It's been deemed physically unsafe or unlawful due to lack of repairs and maintenance by any duly authorized official, the chief building official. That's why it's at your guys' feet today.
Well, what options do they have?
So they have the option of demolishing it, and then if they wanted to rebuild a structure there, they would just have to come back with plans that meet the conformity of the district that it's in. So really, we can't issue a permit to move forward with fixing up this specific structure, is what I'm trying
So
to tell you.
what's coming to us
The
for a vote?
the
What is it?
condemnation of this
The
structure.
Was there another
condemnation,
picture of it?
and does that then mandate the,
Demolition, from my
Demolition?
understanding.
Is there another picture of this from the front of it, or
Yeah, sure.
the outside, I mean,
well,
or is that the outside?
There was some in the
I mean,
beginning.
I understand what you're describing to us,
Mhm.
and that's regrettable, but
It is.
this structure has created turmoil in an outward area with neighbors, tenants. This was the property owner's responsibility.
Yeah, and that's the situation we're in, is the maintenance of the structure has gone past where we really can't do anything about it other than condemn the property.
So
from
it's
my
coming
understanding.
to us as a vote for condemnation that will require demolition.
That's correct.
Will the owner of the property,
The owner and their representatives are supposed to be here tonight to present their case. Of course, with any condemnation, they have the right to try to bring it back. And with
Well,
this here,
As with any
as with any
condemnation,
condemnation, they have
the
right to
try
pull, they
bring
have
it
right to
back.
pull a permit.
I thought that's what you just told us was not gonna happen.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to explain here. They have the right to pull a permit if it's deemed that they can.
Oh, it's-
So if they try to pull a permit, this is what the planning is saying here, is they're not gonna be able to pull a permit, so,
The only thing
our recommendation is to vote yes to the condemnation.
And I can't emphasize that strongly enough for those of us who've been working on this. As you know,
Yeah.
I'm certainly the owner and the representatives have a right, but this got into such a deplorable situation, threatening other properties. I hope the council will not be allowed to hear an argument that provides grace in this matter.
It took multiple departments weeks to get this genie back in the bottle, and I was holding my breath as to whether we would or not. This was-
I don't know if it's fully in the bottle.
I agree.
But I know we've made progress, but it has created a series of issues that, I think we need to send a message loud and clear.
You could ride those rats.
Oh, we need to set a good precedent.
Yeah, rats have saddles on.
Waves of them going up the wall.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
We've spent a lot of
Okay,
money
any other
killing
questions for Virgil? That all
That's
you
all
have?
we've got tonight.
Okay, I'm sorry, we've got I do know we've got a very long executive session, so I'm sorry, we try to move this along. Zach?
Yes, sir. So we've got two rezonings for you guys tonight for public hearing. This first one is at 405 Stillman Boulevard. This is going from R2 to BN. This is the Dollar Tree. Mr. Wilson is familiar with this one. So if you go down past Stillman, it's close to the Piggly Wiggly on that.
They've been working very diligently.
Where is it by the big, is it Big William Shopping Center?
No, sir, it is on Culver Road, right across the street from the car wash and Mr. Grover's establishment. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Good.
Yeah.
and I've spoken with the construction company, making sure that the buffers of the neighborhood and community are safe and that the entrances are well enough hidden, so, in the neighborhood, so that they will go through the main drag. So,
I would think they'd want that there though.
no, they like the trees and the
Oh, I
privacy.
thought they'd like the access to the store.
So yeah, just to summarize, it's going from R2, as you can see today, to BN. There is some BN adjacent to that property as well. It does conform to framework, and Planning Commission did unanimously vote to recommend approval. And that's all I have for this one. And then we can move, and these are just the permitted uses, but we know what use is being proposed to go in here. So the second one we have, unless y'all have any questions on that one, is a rezoning on 405 15th Street. This is Council District 2. There's two zoning districts currently on this property, BNS and R4, and they're going to BN. So this is that Starbucks that they're proposing off of 15th Street. I think it's T-Town Tire or Tuscaloosa Tire or something like that. That's
Love it.
What, could you go back to the diagram, please?
I was like, every day is Saturday.
the diagram. This,
stop.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah, so
TNT, they're moving to the district.
the greater Alberta. I'm not sure.
No, we don't allow them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Norman wants it.
all right, so what's up for this?
Yeah, so this is going to be, the existing structure is going to be demolished. They're going to rebuild it. You can see there's two zoning districts here today. They're rezoning to BN in order to build a Starbucks here. I believe they asked for incentives previously that, and so y'all have kind of seen plans on that. But it does conform to framework. It's identified as corridor commercial. It's right off 15th Street. And it was unanimously recommended for approval at Planning Commission.
Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you, Zach. Paramedics?
Because of the length of the anticipated executive session, I don't have any remarks. We will have 5 items for executive session.
Yeah.
2 shouldn't take much time. 3 are as I sent you a text yesterday, mission critical. Could take some time, and I suspect we'll push our meeting schedule beyond 2:30. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Brandy?
All right, so I've got one quick update for you guys and then one item that we need to address. So the first item, if you guys remember back in August, we talked about the Tuscaloosa County Board of Equalization. You guys submitted 3 names to the governor's office to be considered to be appointed to this particular board. We just received word from them that 2 of the 3 names that we submitted were selected to actually serve on this board. So the 3 names for the 24 through 27 term are going to be Mr. Marvin Gregory, David Henderson, which is one of our nominees, and then James Waltman Jr., who is one of our other nominees as well. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and then the next thing that we need to go over is zoning board of adjustments. Again, last year we talked about this one. You guys needed some time to go over that long list of applicants. And just to refresh your memory, we've got 3 positions that we need to go over or decide what to do with them. We've got 1 supernumerary member whose term expired, Mary Catherine Holt, and then 2 regular members whose terms expired as well, Rob Stewart and Paul Rollins.
Okay, I'll just get right into it since I've talked to everyone. I wasn't able to get Raven yesterday. I'm sorry. But I'm recommending Joe Eatman and Mary Catherine Holt to be the full-time members. The reasons are, to me, very clear. Joe and Mary Catherine have been supernumeraries now. They've had the highest attendance of anyone, even when they weren't there to vote. And I think that's very commendable. This is absolutely, we got 15, I think. The pool was heavily realtors, which was not what certainly staff wanted on. The ZBA, Ashley, this morning we spoke and she was absolutely thrilled to death to think that we could get Joe and Mary Catherine on the ZBA. That would be her recommendations. Of course, the staff recommends, we're the ones that do the selecting, I understand that. But this is, as Raven will know, being on the PZ, it's a absolute thankless job. Half the people leave hating you, half the people there like you. And they spend long hours and no pay. And my decision to put those 2 up was strictly because their record has been impeccable in being there, voting, even when they had to be there to vote. So those are the 2 that I would like to see. And then, of course, any other discussion, but I do want to say too, for the supernumerary position, I would like to, whoever that goes to, open that up for 2 weeks, to
Yes.
take any position for supernumerary.
So moving Joe Eatman would actually vacate his current supernumerary
Yes, so
position.
there'll be 2.
So there will be 2. We'll have one that will have to fill his unexpired term that doesn't expire until 2025, and then one for another 3-year term for Mary Catherine's seat that she's vacating. So
Right. I thought there were 2.
That's just Kip's recommendation, but I'd like to see Paul stay on there. I mean, I don't have a problem with Joe coming on and Mary Catherine even staying as
Yeah.
supernumerary, but I'd like to see Paul Rollins stay on that due to the fact I think we need some more representation for District 1 and 2, and if you move them,
You know, and
who do we have then?
I take that sentiments because this board is sure a very important board, and I want the best qualified individuals, as I've told you, serving our city and in the community which I serve in my district for District 1. Who else? We don't have anybody from District 1 or District 2 on the ZBA or 7.
See,
So
I can't
hold on, let me finish.
I'll let you
And so I want you to know that, hey, I voted, and I voted for, you know, some of the supernumeraries. I voted in positivity for that. There are 7 ZBA members, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but 5 full-time, 2 supernumerary, and not one would be come from my district. It's not personal, but I do have a concern about making sure that my district is represented fully because of the fact that the economic development and different zoning issues are coming up, which is going to very much so impact my district where I am.
Not so much ZBA.
Well,
Planning and zoning, definitely.
well, yeah, planning and zoning, but ZBA, but it is also
More short-term
crucial.
rentals than anything.
Yeah, but it is also crucial to have leaders that to take Mr. Rollins from ZBA would move someone that is working with West Tuscaloosa.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's your.
And that's my
Like I
opinion.
said, I've stated mine and Cash has
Mr.
stated
Rollins
his.
I'm just saying that because there's no representation.
And that's fine. That's fine. I don't even know what districts that people are from on that.
Randy, what
If he
district
missed-
is that? Can you tell us?
I would have to look up all of their current addresses, but I can do that for you guys.
Yeah.
Or unless that.
So there's 5 active
Right.
members and 2
There are
supernumeraries?
5 voting members, regular members, yes, and then 2 supernumeraries.
So obviously, all 7 districts are not gonna have a rep, but I'd be interested in
Yeah.
what the spread is.
I would like to know that.
Okay.
If we kept Mr. Rollins, then, so we're only placing 2 on the board, right?
Right.
So Mr. Rollins is not to be taken off already. is
Well,
he?
he would be
If
if
we
Joe
remove
Hickman
these
was.
2.
And
Well,
like I said, I wasn't even gonna get into names, but, you know, because I don't want, I never would like to embarrass anybody, but, you know, there's been an absentee issue too. And
Okay.
it wasn't just the last 3 months. So, I think that's very important to be, if you're gonna be on the board, to attend. It's only once a month.
I don't disagree with you on that.
And it's only once a month.
I
Yeah,
just
and I
want
thank
my
you for that,
representative.
Matthew, because it tells a lot to me with these 2 that I'm recommending.
I wouldn't just judge that off the last 3 weeks though, Kim.
And that's
I
3
mean, think
months.
about the 10, okay, 3
I'm
months,
not- I'm not-
over
I'm
10
saying-
years, let's be real, though. I mean, you know.
But I'm not, but Councilor Lanier, I'm not saying just the last 3 months.
I understand, but I'm gonna stand on what I still
I
believe. 'cause
understand, and that's-
It ain't about a district,
that's
it's
fine.
about minority representation.
That's right. And
Let's
well,
just be real.
I think Joe's is as African-American as Mr. Rollins is.
That's fine, but at the end of the day, there has to be a voice that understands the plight of each of our districts. That's trying to build, and so I'm
Yeah, I
just telling you,
understand.
we gonna need a
And-
leader in that department too.
And also, you know,
Listen, I'm not taking anything from you guys, I mean,
I know,
do
and
what you have to do.
Joe just happened to move, but he grew up on the west side too.
Mr.
Yeah,
President,
and this is not anything to do with Joe. Joe
Have
can be
you
a
ever-
hundred as well, make Mary a supernumerary.
And I
keep
supported
Paul.
Joe.
I think it still serves.
Okay,
Or we
Mr.
could keep
President.
Paul, I could
That's
be in
fine.
favor of keeping Paul and however y'all wanna do Mary and Joe.
Yeah.
And I can-
Yeah.
Well,
Mr.
go ahead.
President, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
You wanted to open back up the pool, maybe to look at supernumerary. Would it be acceptable to maybe open that up for 2 weeks and then put the whole slate forward with the supernumerary?
Okay.
And kind of have this discussion to
I
do
don't
that?
think it would.
In a
would it?
couple
When's the
weeks.
meeting?
You
What's
need to lay it
driving the
again?
timeline?
I don't think so.
So I believe their next meeting is on the
Terms expire, but we
22nd
might be
of
able to
this
work
month.
out.
The next ZBA meeting is scheduled for the 22nd of this month.
So we can still work
Okay, yeah,
this
I'm
out.
looking
Do
at
we
it.
have the time to do that?
Well, they stay in place, don't they, until we do something?
Okay.
They would continue to serve.
Well, that's-
I would
probably
like
have
to
work this
see,
out, Mr.
I would like to
President.
see what the district spread is.
Okay.
And if absentee records are a factor, who has those? Is that, you
Yeah.
don't have it over,
Work this out for a slate.
to his point, not just compacted, but say over 2 years. I think that would be
Fine.
relevant to my vote.
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
I'm just told by Brandy that we need to do this today, but.
It's her fault.
Randy's smiling, that means
So
we
we
don't
can,
have to
so
do
we
it
can
today.
do.
And work
so-
it all out.
Excuse me, so we can actually do, open it up for any supernumeraries and for 2 weeks, and then come back with it, and we can make a decision on all of them.
Yes.
Okay,
I
let's
don't
do it.
think there will be any issues with their any
They-
vacancies or anything like
Yeah,
that.
they've all said that they would continue to serve
Well, that's fine then.
at this point.
I'm still gonna feel the same way, but
Yeah,
that's
my
fine.
thing is, I think we play a little bit too much. Like, we know what we wanna do, you know, I think we should just go ahead and make a decision, make a vote, and do what we
If I
wanna
could
do.
get up out of this chair quick, I'd come and shake your hand, because I agree. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
we're just kicking a can down the
Yeah,
road,
let's go for it.
but, you know, if that's what the majority people wanna
That's
do,
right. Come on, let's do
we'll
it.
kick it for 2 more weeks.
Okay. 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. But I agree with you, Cassius, 100%.
Democracy in action, isn't it great?
No, it's just make a decision and get it over with.
I don't know enough to make a decision. I mean, I don't know. I don't have an opinion. I hate to be that way. I just don't have an opinion on this. I don't know these people.
Well, I'll talk to you about it.
Oh, my.
I've tried, I've talked to everybody.
Well, you talked to me today, you know, and I had great concerns about
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
know, I would have rather to have more time
Well,
to discuss
there's,
that.
let's just stop, let's just drop it, because we don't want to get into any other things that might not be good to get into.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, council. Before I jump into the agenda, I do want to give kudos to my colleagues here with the holiday schedule over the last several meetings. And you'll see today there are only 3 doubled up items, at least one of which is wholly outside of our control. The organization and planning and hard work it took from them made it much easier on my office and I know Ms. Johnson's office. So I truly appreciate that. I am about midway down on your second page, where on pages 15 through 18, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute a development agreement with North River Hospitality LLC to provide economic development assistance for the construction and/or renovation of a hotel, restaurant, and spa located at 2700 Yacht Club Northeast in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. This was presented to you most recently at the December 19th Finance Committee. On page 19, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute an addendum to services contract with Placer Labs, Inc., DBA Placer AI. This was also presented to you at Projects Committee on the 19th. On page 20, you'll be authorizing a write-off of water, sewer, and environmental services overdue and delinquent accounts for fiscal year 2023. This came to you in finance on the 19th. On page 21, you'll be authorizing a revised cooperative maintenance agreement with the Alabama Department of Transportation regarding a cooperative maintenance contract for city improvements made within the ALDOT right-of-way regarding sidewalk improvements on McFarland Boulevard between milepost 51.80 and 52.05, bordering Snow Hinton Park. This is the same sidewalk I believe you guys have heard about twice. It is doubled up, and you'll hear from Mr. Bobbitt about it again in projects today. On page 22, you'll be authorizing a professional services contract with Vital Exam LLC. This is a not to exceed $165,978. This is doubled up and will be presented today in Finance Committee. On pages 23 through 26, you'll be authorizing the Office of Community and Neighborhood Services to make substantial budget and program amendments to the 2018, 2019, 2021 annual action plans and to advertise these amendments to the city's year 2015 through 19 and 2020 through 2024 consolidated plans for community planning and development programs. This came to you from CD Committee on the 19th. On page 27, you'll be authorizing a contract with Flock Group, Inc. This is a total not to exceed $215,600. On page 28, you'll be authorizing a contract with Axon Enterprise, Inc. and declaring a bid law exemption pursuant to Alabama Code 411651A15. This is a total of $69,471 for years 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On page 29 through 30, you'll be tentatively awarding a public works contract to Price Civil Services for Juanita Drive Improvements Phase 2. This is a total of $2,848,508.57. This was presented to you in projects on the 19th. On page 31 and 32, you'll be tentatively awarding a public works contract to Bagby Elevator Company for Annex 1 elevator replacement project. This is a total of $249,355 and again was presented in projects on the 19th. On page 33, you'll be tentatively awarding a public works contract to JT Harrison Construction Company for Fire Station Number 6. This is a total of $5,465 and was presented in projects on the 19th. On page 35, you'll be authorizing a contract with Jonathan Ray for professional services. This is a total not to exceed $120,000 and was presented in admin on the 19th. On page 36, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding for healthcare clinical experience for EMS students with Regional Training Institute. This was doubled up, and you'll hear about it in projects today. And then I don't believe we've covered these yet. On page 37 and 38, you'll be introducing a zoning amendment, 1519, rezoning approximately 0.35 acres located at 625 Queen City Avenue. That will be for voting at a later time and came from the Planning Commission. On page 39, you'll be setting February 6th as the date for a public hearing to consider adoption of zoning amendment 1519. And again, that came from Planning Committee. I'm a little out of practice, so I might be a little lightheaded after that. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Any questions for Scott?
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, we did. We did. I think it's Flock. Okay, all right, thank you, Scott. We've got projects, finance, public safety is canceled, and 6 o'clock council meeting. And you see, for people at home, Historic Preservation meets tomorrow at 5. The Riverfront Advisory meets Thursday at 5. City Hall will be closed. I was wondering when the next one would be. City Hall will be closed Monday in observance of the Martin Luther King holiday. No council committee meetings on the 16th. Planning and zoning will be at 5 o'clock on the 17th, and the ZBA will meet on Monday, January the 22nd. I do want to invite all of you to the Pop Stroke. It is absolutely the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. I got to walk it. I got to walk it yesterday, and it is amazing.
We need to take you some places.
No, I've been to lots of places, but this is, y'all don't be
I'm
jealous.
glad, I'm for you.
Yeah, I know you are, but it is beautiful. I'll spend most of my time in the bunker, I'm sure. But the thing that's so great too, it's all, one of the courses is all ADA compliant. So, anybody with any type of disability, wheelchair, whatever, nobody be left behind playing. But you'll learn more on Tuesday, a week from today, 10 a.m. is the ribbon cutting. Tiger will not be there, as everybody knows. And then the next day on the 17th, will start. And everything's ready to go. That's the restaurant, the ice cream parlor with 16 flavors of ice cream and signature milkshakes. And beer garden, me and Cassius will go. And then the great thing is the children's playground, along with every time they're open, there's ping pong, there's cornhole, there's all sorts of games for kids that don't play or too small to play. So it's going to be amazing, and so hope to see y'all there next Tuesday. Right there.
Congratulations.
It's exciting.
Great job.
It's exciting. The 10th one in the nation. So, anyway, is there a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Okay, Scott.
Yes, sir. As your city attorney and attorney licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama, I can certify that the topics to be discussed in executive session are appropriate for such to discuss with their attorney the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation, controversies not yet being litigated, but imminently likely to be litigated or imminently likely to be litigated. The governmental body pursues a proposed course of action, as well as to discuss security plans, procedures, assessments, measures, or systems, or the security or safety of persons, structures, facilities, or other infrastructures, including without limitation information concerning critical infrastructure, the public disclosure of which could reasonably be expected to be detrimental to the public safety or welfare, and also to discuss preliminary negotiations involving matters of trade or commerce in which the governmental body is in competition with private individuals or entities or other governmental bodies in Alabama or in other states and foreign nations, the discussions of which would have a detrimental effect upon the competitive position of a party to the negotiations or upon the location, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a public employee or public business entity in the area served by the governmental body if disclosed outside of executive session.
Okay, as have a motion second, all in favor say aye.